Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today we'll be doing a different thing entirely. For the past 21 days, I believe if you've been following my channel or if you go through my videos, you see that I was on a break. So I went for the NYSC orientation camp, which is a compulsory thing to do in Nigeria if you graduate. So I was posted to McGregor's College in Afikpo, Ebonyi State, and my experience was a nice one. Though I do travel around, I've been to close to 10 states in Nigeria, and east I haven't been to any east state, so this will be the first eastern state I'm going to. I embarked on my journey on 23rd of April last month. Today is May 21. On April 23rd, I followed I went to the park in Yanapada. I followed the bus. The transport was 46.5, 46.5 or 45.5. I can't remember. So, we left Lagos around 7 or 8. The car we entered was kind of, oh my god, the AC wasn't working well. I don't know if it's the tire or something that was having issues, so the car wasn't fast enough. So we got to Ore late. So from Ore we needed to embark. We had to continue our journey to go to Abakaliki. So we got to Enugu. So when we got to Enugu, we needed to switch a bus. So I was transferred into another bus going to Afikpo from Enugu. I met a girl named Favor inside the bus also. That's the bus they transferred me to at she was going to Afikpo. She's from Lagos also. So we got to camp around 11:30. On the entrance of the gate we saw another person named Solomon, also him too is from Lagos. So three of us entered the camp together. We were not able to do the process, but we just did some few steps into the process, and they asked us to go to the hostel. So then that, let's just say around to 12, that'll be 11:50 something, just to 12 midnight. We continued from the gate, the hall, to the hostel. We don't know anywhere because it's dark, so we met some soldiers on the way, and the directed us we should go to the director to the parents to say that we should just go and sleep anywhere. But we couldn't sleep anywhere because we also saw people were still outside playing. Though it was light out, so we were outside for some while till they split us inside different rooms. That's how it went. So from there, the next morning we woke up as early as 4:30, 4 a.m. Have to freshen up, then moved out of the hostel by 5. So that by 5, okay, yeah. When we got to the ground, parade ground by 5, we had to remove to the parade ground. Everybody, either you've started your registration, you've not started your registration, to move to the parade ground. Get to the parade ground, morning devotion, prayed, some man of war exercise. Oh my god, I was so stressed because I haven't had enough sleep. God. So from there, we moved to the hall to concern registration. The registration didn't take it took me the whole day because we had to do bank registration, we have to do documentation and the likes. So that was that. Then they called for food, which was around 7. But I said, let me try tasting the food. Oh my god. I believe everyone know some you can't cook for over 1,000 people with a budgeted cooking ingredients and believe the food will taste nice. So I tasted it. I said let me try the food. I had the food. Oh my god. I had to I was having stomach upset. I couldn't eat it. I had to give it out. I went to there's a place called Mami. A Mami is just like a marketplace where there are different things, food stuff, anything you want. So I entered one. Then I've already met favor that we came into the camp together. Into the camp together. I met favor, so we went to mommy together. We ate. The food tasted nice for a start. The food didn't really taste, but it just tasted nice. It's still good, unlike the all food. So from there, what did we do again? We did different type of activities. Okay, from there we they called us into the hall back around 9. Yeah, because the first week of the NYC orientation was most of registration, so they haven't really started anything like that. So from we are supposed to stay in the hall from 9 to 2, but we're just doing registration. Everyone trying to set their footsteps in the right position. So from there, after we're done with our registration bank, we just have to come the next day back. I went to collect my khaki, which is the green, the white inner, the green trouser, the boots, also the white foul clothes. So that's that. After collecting that, mine fitted me perfectly, but I saw that people complain about their either it's too big or it's too small. Mine fitted me, everything fitted me. The only way I had issue was my white sneakers that he gave me was too big. So I didn't have issue because I bought another before going. So that wasn't really an issue like that. So that's one. So in the evening, they asked us to leave the hostel back to the hall again, which was around 8 p.m. Around 8 p.m. 8 p.m. We had to leave the hostel back to the hall again. Then they told us all what we need. After that, the restriction closed on 24th, which was the day I got as time out. That the midnight of that restriction closed, but the whole gate was still open to those coming in on Saturday because of the distance. So let me say the whole restriction closed on Sunday, which was the 26th of April. Then on the 27th, them dropped to 27, which is Monday, which is the serious thing. After I get up by 5, the Muslim had to go to the mosque to go and pray. The Christians had to go to the parade ground to go and have their worship. That's that. Then after the worship by 7, we had to go to the hall to eat, which you can skip if you don't feel like eating. You can go to mommy to eat. So I kept going to mommy to eat back to back. So from 7, the by 9, you have to leave everything you're doing back to the office side. Skills, entrepreneur acquisition development. I believe that's the name of the side. Oh my god. I believe that's the name of the side. So from there, if you do that for 5 hours, receiving lecture. Oh my god, I'm very sad that I didn't get anything inside that lecture throughout. I get this because why would be teaching me so for 5 hours? Definitely that is not entering my head. So for 5 hours, I couldn't. But you can't leave the hall. You need to sit down there. Either is entry here. You must not sleep. You can't wear shades. You can't wear cap. You can't put earpod on your ear. You must not be seen pressing phone. You need to just sit down like a good student and listen to any jargon they are saying. So that's that. So we had different throughout the side period. We had different people coming in, entrepreneur people willing to teach skills, investments, the state coordinator, the general federation coordinator, our CC camp commandant. Everybody came in. That was not just that day, like throughout the 21 days all beside those people that came. So that's that. I also learned from there after the lecture, there's not a particular period we have to do this side, which everybody have to pick the skills they want to learn. I picked leather works, which is shoemaking.
This how we continue because you also this was in Australia, but it was GU very big thing. This was currently in the other states. Yeah, the the trip was kind of stressed because the DC was it's just different and it was so slow. We just kept on going like that. So that was very feeling heat. Right now. You don't just come again to just manage. So enjoy it with me. See you next edition. So I was done with registration, yeah, and we were already in the camp, aligning with people. This was on the way back to the hostel. This was in the during side where I said we need to stay for close to like 5 hours doing nothing, listening to lecture that is not even giving us any, not really getting anything from them.
Yeah, so today is day 2 in Ebonyi NYSC camp. I'm using front camera now. Yeah, I hope I hope it matches it. So I'm using first. This is the first day in camp. Today is 25 April 2026. Yeah, so we just came back from the all what the lecture they did from 9 to 2. I can't really understand anything because there was too much and the hall was too crowded, so I couldn't hear anything. So yeah, so that's just it for today. Yeah.
This happened is social. This is a social night. So, as I said, I eat always back to the for social night. So most of the rest of these activities that you'll be seeing is mostly of the activity that was done during the social night. Enjoy. This part was when if you have a talent, you can come and showcase your talent. So this is a guy performing his music. Yeah, he was performing his music here, and in the beginning everybody was feeling the vibes, but when the beats came in, everybody was enjoying the vibes of the music. It was fun though. It was fun because other artists who came out to perform their music also, even though some were interesting, some were boring. This competition was a dance. So every platoon had to bring out a representative come and represent them. Yeah, dance. So anyway, it was kind of too much cheating in this too because platoon 4 was cheated from the beginning of competition to the end of competition because the platoon officer wasn't around. So nobody could fight for them and the students themselves couldn't fight for themselves. So they just had to collect any result that was given to them.
All of the benefit of salvation, yeah. I rectify the rider, the coming of the Lord. I rectify the master, and talk about his love.
So this was a girl that came to rap. She was rapping a Christian rap, and people were feeling it. They were out feeling it because maybe because the not I was not really rapping, but though it made sense. It makes more sense. So that's just that part. So this part is the part whereby each platoon needs to compete against each other in volleyball and football. So this was the training part where everybody's training. Me, I went to get on the tweet because I was so exhausted. Because I was tired, so I was not look forward to it. So each platoon was also to do a drama play. This is a drama play of the Shango god. So that's what they're performing. Then the act and the Shango was the guy holding fire coming out, walking up and fire. This is what the leather works we did throughout the training. The shoemaking. The cover on his mind when I personally.